Македонци. All our family, all the Lebamoffs. It's 10, 12 families with all the grandchildren and things like that. But to go back to our parents, they had their problems, but then they had their, svoboda, give them their freedom, and little by little they come back again and become friends, and you discuss what the problems. Yeah. There's no problem, so what are you getting mad about? What are you upset about? Yeah. And just little by little they resolve the problems. Everything's okay. I don't know who came first, Uncle Tom or my dad. Argued with my dad. Yeah, Uncle Tom and my dad. Then Uncle Jim came from, I don't know if Uncle Jim came from the other village or not. I was born here in 1927, July the 18th, right? Mm-hmm. The one on South Clinton, on Pickway, South Clinton. Then we lived behind it there in the house. I think when the first store I met all the Macedonci. I got the leadership from over there to look for them over here, find them over here. And then when we found who they were here, we got along real good. Then we had some problems with the Greeks coming in bothering us and didn't want us to be, Bulgar Macedonci. Made it kind of hard. Now we don't bother them, they don't bother us, we don't care who they are. As long as they don't come in and bother us, we're okay. So, with the Macedonci, I didn't bother them. I went in for Bulgaria to look for my parents, look for my grandparents, for family. And I remember I met an old lady. She knew the family and everything, but she wasn't a Lebmoff. But she was telling me about my family, who they were. So it was nice to have people tell you things. I think you have to find out who's running the Tribune, and they're your friends now. They had trouble just like you did with the communists.
My dedo from my father's side came from Resen, and from the Resen area. The village was Krushiev, and he came in 1917. He came to America first, actually. He stayed 6 months, and then he went to Toronto. And I said, Dedo, why did you leave America to come to Canada? He said 1917 was the Red Scare, the communist Soviet Union. And he said, with a Slavic name, here they threw rocks at you. And he said, when I went to Canada, they just threw eggs, didn't hurt as much. But anyway, he stayed in Toronto. And then my Baba and my father came a little bit later. And on my mother's side, they were from Aegean Macedonia, the village Vumbel in Kostur area. And my dedo deserted. He was drafted to the Greek army, and he deserted the army and ran away and came to Canada, and with the idea of bringing his wife and children after, but it was very difficult. He finally, and meanwhile, my Baba that was there died as a young woman, and my mother and her brothers were raised by their grandparents. They were getting elderly, and my dedo finally managed to get them to Canada. They came in 1947. And then my parents married and so on. Now, my dedo, both dedos, were not MPO members, but knew they were Bulgarian Macedonian. And my father's, the dedo from my father's side, is a founder of St. George, Sveti Georgi Macedonian Bulgarian Eastern Orthodox Church in Toronto. And his name is on the plaque. My other dedo wasn't a member of the MPO, but he loved the Tribune. It was all in Bulgarian. It's the only newspaper he read. It would come every month. He'd wait for it. All his news came from the Tribune, everything. So I learned from them that we have Bulgarian roots. They call themselves Macedonian. They didn't call themselves Bulgarian Macedonian. They call themselves Macedonian, but they always explain we have Bulgarian roots.
Before I can remember, because I was born in 1988, so we've been going to the convention pretty much every year since then. First memory would probably be in about 1994 or 1995. I can't remember specifically where we were that year, but I just remember being at the dances, having my mom and dad encourage me to go out and learn how to dance, and knowing the basics of 1, 2, 3, kick, kick that my baba would always show me. And that'd be the first memory I have. And pretty much gone every year since then and loved it. It's been one of the staples of understanding and continuing my culture, pretty much. I was born in Canada, but to help me understand and connect with our culture, it was through my grandmother, my mom and dad, what they taught me, and what I learned at the conventions. So it was very important through my development. My dad was always very involved. He's always very vocal about the ideas of the MPO, very active in writing. He's always loved writing his whole life. At home, he's always spending hours every month writing. So knowing how involved he was, I did know at some point there'd be a time when I would step in and take over and assist with him, and then eventually even take over and have a big voice in the MPO. I didn't know about presidency at that time, but always knew that I'd have a role in kind of promoting the ideas of it, to follow my dad's footsteps.
I'm second generation American born. My mother and father were born in this country. Their parents, all four of my grandparents, are from Nezavisiма Makedония. My mother's father, Nikola, was a Kumita, and he fought in the Balkan Wars, and he left the Jane Macedonia in 1912, and he came to this country. My other grandparents came 1914, 1922, 1930. The MPO, from the very beginning, has been a big part of my life. My grandfather, Nikola, was one of the founders of the MPO, and he instilled in all of us, that spirit of the MPO, that the MPO it's just such an important part of our lives. So yeah, all of my adult life, I've been a part of the MPO. I've been on the Central Committee in 9 years, 3 different times. I was part of the YMPO Coordinating Committee. I've written for the Tribune, and I hope to pass this on to my children. My daughter was just elected to the Central Committee, so hopefully she'll continue it.
I'm a fourth generation MPO member. My great grandfather, he was one of the founding members. You spoke to my Baba last year, or she was interviewed last year, and it's just being Macedonian and part of the MPO is just what drives our family.
I'm originally from Macedonia, from currently North Macedonia, from the city of Ohrid. My family and I moved to the United States 30 years ago in 1993, and basically moved to the Chicago area, so that's where I grew up. So I've been there ever since. My parents grew up in Yugoslavia, so a lot of their memories were from the Yugoslav period. Talking to my grandparents, the history from before Yugoslavia was a little bit more chaotic. You had periods of Serbian occupation, Bulgaria coming in, and different, the territory kind of passing from one country to another country. So it was a bit chaotic based on my, family stories prior to.
Баба ми и дедо ми е от Македония, от Коструцко, и баба ми пристигнал тук 1916 година, дедо ми 921 година. Аз съм половин немец, на баща ми страна, на майка ми от Македония. Баба ми и дедо ми имаше проблеми с Гърция и избега от Македония. Те накарал дедо ми да отива на гръцко училище и той имаше интерес и избега. Баба ми одеше в гръцко училище няколко години, а нейната баща беше комита и да ослободиш Македония и имаше много проблеми с Гърция и избега. И одеше в Южна Америка, след това в Америка. Когато бях малък, я се одеше в Кафане. Имаше дедо Липо там. Той беше от Македония и той казах, той е българин. И на баба ми братчет влезнал в кафането и каза, дедо Липо каза на него, ама ти много интересно майка имаше. И той рече, ама тя беше селянка, как да е интересно. Не, беше много интересна жена, ама как тя не знаеше да пише, не знаеше така да чете, ама беше селянка, как да е интересно. Ама тя се роди 3 мъжки деца. И рече, да, и аз и моето братя, да, един българин, един македонец и един гърк. Три различни народности.
My father came, both my parents were born in Независима Македония. My father came in 1929, my mother came in 1947. All I know is that my father and his brother, my uncle, they were always involved in the church and the MPO. When we were kids, we went to conventions and I just grew into it. And it's very important to me. The MPO was affiliated with the churches, and when the newcomers came from Yugoslavia in the 50s and in the 60s, they were promoting the Macedonism, which wasn't what my parents, to me, then I didn't understand it any difference, but it's the brainwashing. And it's brainwashing of people. Even to this day, one of the churches, St. Clement's, Ochridski, they have a lunch on Thursday afternoons. It's not bad, and it's very inexpensive. And I went, and someone came up to me, and I was sitting at a table with people. He said, here's the Bulgarian. And after I swore at him, and I won't say it now what I called him, I said, look, I'm more Macedonian than you'll ever be. And it's this negativism towards our background that I hate ignorance, and it really bothers me.
МПО преди всичко е историческа организация. Това е българска история, това е важна история и тази история трябва да се съхрани и трябва хората в Македония да знаят каква е истината, че хората са дошли като българи тук, училището е българско в черквата и няма друго начин, няма друго какво да има. Или са албанци, или са българи. Леля ми пази под душека отдолу, върху пружината в нейната стая, вестник Македония от 1934 година, от погребението на дедо ми Иван Караджов. И го пазеше и то беше нагънато от пружината и не даваше да го вадиме, за да не почнем да говорим и да го изнесем на улицата и да си отвориме работа. Тогава беше страшно, никой не смеше да каже за Ванчо Михайлов и за ВМРО и за тези работи. Това беше страшна работа. Но това аз съм го видял като дете. Вътре, вестник е там. Сега го извадиха този вестник, прекопираха го, много хора го видяха, така и така, но тогава беше страшно.
Аз чух за тях още през 2012 година. В предварителния разговор стана дума, че бях член на ВМРО от 1991 година, още в град Велико Търново, като бях студент. След това, когато се преместих в София, станах член на младежката организация на ВМРО и работих за вестник Македония, така че бях в тия среди от доста време. Бях чувал за МПО още в България. Включително изпращах броеве на вестник Македония, когато издавахме в София, и изпращах тук на МПО. Бях чувал за Георги Лебамов преди да го видя, например, и за някои други изявени дейци на МПО. С тукашното МПО имах няколко срещи през 2012-2013 някъде, но станах техен член през 2017. И от тогава смятам, че доста неща сме направили заедно. Надявам се, че съм им помогнал в някаква степен. Разбира се и те на мен. Всъщност важното е да си заедно с единомишленици и всъщност тая кауза, която всички преследваме, тя става по-лесна, когато сме заедно, когато сме повече.
Повечето хора като цяло, те нямат много добра представа от история. Те не го взимат толкова лично, както ние го взимаме през сърце. И за много хора е едно забавление да дойдат един уикенд през годината, да се позабавляват и това е. Докато ние го взимаме много лично и това се показва в поведение, в начин на говорене и всичко. и на тях им идва много различно. По някой път сме доста агресивни за тях, в тяхните очи, нали, с нашите искания и така нататък. За нас това е каузата на живота. Лично за мен и за моите хора, за моите приятели, които сме в този клон, които движим клона. Ние имаме лично семейства, които са потърпевши от всичките гонения, които са преживели българите в Македония.
МПО дава възможност да се чувствам горда с българските си корени. Моята цел с това възстановяване на този клон или на този клуб в Индианаполис е да може повече хора да разберат за МПО, повече млади хора да разберат защо е важно да има МПО, какво са правили нашите предци, защо са го правили и защо е важно да знаят кои са и какви са техните корени. Моята цел е да работя с цялата си отговорност пред паметта на предците си, на Стоян Мълчанков, на Никола Танасов и на Никола Коларов, които са живели за организацията ВМРО, за свободата на Македония, за по-доброто на хората и те са жертвали живота си, буквално са били унищожени за тези си идеи, но са били честни и принципни хора. И аз като техен наследник, във вените ми тече тяхната кръв, се чувствам длъжна да поема отговорността да продължа техния пример в наши условия, в днешно време в Америка.
It's a Macedonian convention that we have every year on Labor Day weekend, and it's to celebrate the Macedonian Bulgarian tradition of dancing.
So my grandfather was an immigrant, my father's first generation American, and so they would always just bring us, since we were kids, to come and celebrate the culture, get to know more about it, dance, eat a lot of food, have some fun. But yeah, it's a great way to kind of immerse yourself in the culture and appreciate your heritage.
When I first met with people of this organization, I was amazed. I was amazed of their devotion, of the way they preserved the legacy of their founding fathers. And I felt really honored to be part of this family. I was thinking this organization should be even better acknowledged by the general public and also by the officials of the United States. And surprisingly, this year I was pleasantly surprised that the great state of Illinois adopted two separate resolutions acknowledging the achievement of Macedonian patriotic organization founded by Macedono-Bulgarians, but today accepting people regardless their ethnicity based on human rights and mutual respect. And tonight I bring this resolution, the originals, and I would like to present them as a present to the sitting president, Steve Petrov, and elected president, Matthew Stefanov. As a present to the museum, I thank you all.
This organization was founded by patriotic Macedono-Bulgarians, or Macedonian Bulgarians, immigrants from the region of Macedonia, for the purpose of advancing the cause of freedom and human rights of all Macedonians. Today, 100 years later, the MPO unites Macedonian Bulgarians and ethnic Macedonians alike, as well as anyone that identifies with the name of Macedonia in one way or another, as well as anyone that considers themselves Macedonian in one way or another, to mutually acknowledge and enjoy our common Macedonian culture and heritage, and to boldly continue nurturing the new generation of patriotic Americans and Canadians who are proud of their Macedonian roots. Before we wrap up, there is one item, I would like to share that there is one more item that is the embodiment of the spirit of olden day Macedonia and olden day Imro. That is namely our beloved newspaper, the Macedonian Tribune, Македонска трибуна.
Yeah, absolutely. I just wanted to let you guys know that I'm working really hard. So.
Успяхме да убедим хората да ми разрешат на мен да намеря финансиране и ресурси, за да се дигитализира архива на МПО, което е много важно, защото условията, в които стоят в момента всички документи, които са най-вече на хартия, са просто... Няма как да се запазят тези хартийни документи. И те деградират със всеки изминал ден. А истината е там, точно там, в тези архиви. Това ще позволи на всеки един човек да има достъп до този архив. И всеки един ще може да си направи само изводи, а не да се води от това, какво му казала тази медия, какво му казала това, какво му учили в училище, защото всеки знае какво случи в училище в Македония в днешно време.
Дейността на МПО Пирин тук е насочена към възстановяване, възкресяване на историческата памет и запознаване на българските имигранти с определени исторически периоди от нашата история, по-конкретно тая част свързана с голямата рана в българската национална психика, темата за Македония. За мен моето лично откритие беше този метод на свързване на родното с националното. Тогава всеки човек може да истински да почувства тая връзка, да стане истински запален по тая тема, защото иначе като че ли малко отвлечено всичко това звучи, нали? Това са не събития преди 100 години, преди 150 години и така нататък. И много хора казват, добре, каква е моята връзка? Аз живея в 2023 година. Но ако тръгне всеки да изследва родната си, личната си история, тогава може да намери пресечни точки с националната. И това е много важно, защото след нас идва следващия. И всъщност тия грешки, които са правени за жалост 50 години в България, да не се учи за тия неща, да се прикриват и да се изолира и дори да се унищожават тия книги, не трябва да се повтарят.
The mission is to promote our background, our culture, our history. But, as I was saying before, one thing I feel that the MPO is forgetting is the Agentska Makedonia. I don't hear anything, and because my parents are from Agentska Makedonia, and all my relatives are from there, and the vast majority of immigrants were from there, what are we doing to promote ourselves? How can we promote it? Is it possible to promote it? I've got a lot of hope now because there are some younger people that I've met, and by younger I mean in their 30s, which to me now is young, that they're interested, and some of them are American and Canadian born, and it was a big concern because we were an older crowd.
And I think, I mean, that was an idea from back in the day, you know, from the early 20th century, but, you know, I think the borders of Macedonia have changed, the political reality of Macedonia, what it is today is different than what the idea was back, let's say, 100 years ago. So I definitely think the MPO, as an outsider, I think that there is kind of some room for them to update maybe their goals and their missions, but that's up for them to decide. Again, I'm just a guest here, so I can't tell them what to do, but I think some of the goals and the missions probably should be updated to reflect a more modern reality. I don't see that the MPO as an organization is that active in the reconciliation process between Macedonia and Bulgaria. I think, like I said, they're more focused maybe on cultural preservation here in the United States. I think the MPO could be more active in the Balkans and Macedonia and Bulgaria, trying to bring those two countries together. I mean, the organization has historically had people from, you know, modern Greece, Bulgaria, North Macedonia. I think the MPO has maybe pulled back a little bit in the involvement directly in the Balkans.
I think what's important for us now is to realize that the MPO is not now what it was in 1922 when it was founded, because the situation has changed. So right now I think it's very important for us to keep the MPO going so that we can remember, and so that our children and our children's children, and 100 years from now, so everybody understands what Macedonia is, what the Macedonian question is, and how we got here, how we got to this country.
To me, it's an organization designed to preserve our heritage, our Macedonian heritage, and unite all Macedonians in our diaspora, North America diaspora, and respect each other's ethnicity. And we accept all ethnicities as long as people have a consciousness of being Macedonian. That's all. And I don't want to bow to the other side, to the ethnic Macedonians, but I want to preserve, I think the MPO's purpose is to preserve our heritage and our identity with Bulgarian roots. In the early days, we had no ethnic Macedonians in North America. They came after Tito when he allowed them to immigrate, right? Before that, we were all Bulgarian Macedonians. But when the ethnic Macedonians came, they started building their ethnic Macedonian churches, creating their organizations. And some of our people, when they saw that these people are here and the identity is not going to go away, I believe they started thinking, I'm tired of we accept every identity. We accept Greek Macedonia in our bylaws. We accept Vlad Macedonians. We accept Serbian Jews. My idea is, let's get them back. Let's get those people back, and we can get them back because they know they're Bulgarian. They have Bulgarian roots. The trouble is that they don't want to. But by saying, we'll accept the ethnic Macedonians too as Macedonians, if they accept us, those people will come back. I believe so. I really believe it. My idea of reaching out to them and recognize them, and if they recognize me, we bring them together. But it's not just to bring them together. We have to understand that we do have a same common history. Like, you can't deny the history, you can't deny the truth. So my idea is we gain the respect. I've gained the respect of people at St. Clement's, like when I have this luncheon, for example. I'll just give you an example. So I've gained their respect now. Now I can have honest discussions with them about our Bulgarian roots. And they'll say, yeah, you're right. My grandfather says, they'll say it now. Before they didn't say it. Before it was like this. Now it's more like this. But there's still people here, I understand. And I don't want to lose these people either. Like I respect the people who say, no, we're Bulgarian Macedonians, the ethnic Macedonians are wrong and truth matters. I do respect this. But I think the fighting hasn't brought these people together. Reaching out may bring them together. And once they trust us, they'll listen more to what we're saying. Because they're not listening now. Macedonia needs Bulgaria to get in the European Union. And to survive, Macedonia needs to be in the European Union. No question about it in my mind.
We always continue to acknowledge, based on our bylaws, that we were founded by Macedonian Bulgarians who came to North America. And that's an idea that is always kind of at the foundation of our beliefs. And it's always promoted when we a lot of our articles are based around that point in our Tribune. A lot of discussions we have amongst ourselves at these conventions are along that. So it's always something that's there, and the idea currently of promoting all Macedonians to join is, I think, just a really progressive advancement for the current day right now.
Това е моя втори конгрес на МПО. Миналата година участвах за първи път по време на честванията на 100 годишната от организацията. осъзнах, че това е една уникална организация, най-голямата организация и най-старата организация на български емигранти от региона на Македония. Организация с огромни традиции, която винаги е била изключително демократична, успяла е да запази ценностите, обичаите на българите от Македония тук в Северна Америка, винаги е била гласа на беззащитните, на лишените от глас, на хората, чието права човешки са били нарушавани с десетилетия. И всъщност те са запазили онзи дух на свободата и на независимостта, който успяват да предават и към днешната македоно-българска общност.
It's impossible to predict the future. I mean, our focus is, it was founded by North American Macedonians, Bulgarians, so our focus is to really establish ourselves more in North America, to grow here, then to grow around the world, promote chapters to form. And I think the influence on Macedonia is always at our core of wanting to have a Macedonia for Macedonians, one that has, as I said, promotion of all Macedonians regardless of ethnicity, to be a Switzerland of the Balkans, as we say. The big focus has been on sustaining the MPO for the future. I'd say a lot of that is impacted by two things. Yesterday we passed some new bylaws which really are trying to promote the MPO to unite all Macedonians regardless of ethnicity, which can help solve some of the old debates and problems that there's been within the Macedonian community. And I think that that's important if we create ourselves as a beacon of light to promote all Macedonians, regardless of ethnicity, to come join us and celebrate our heritage. It can be very helpful for us to sustain ourselves in the long term, and it's generally a great thing to promote, to unite people, to celebrate. Secondly to that is getting the youth involved. That's something that's very important. And to that spirit, yesterday our new committee was formed, and we have 3 new members, all of which are much younger than the previous generation committees that I can remember, and I'm sure for at least pretty far back, the youngest central committee in a long time. And I think that embodies that spirit and will help to further promote that spirit going forward. We're welcome to share our organization with all Macedonians, and Macedonian Bulgarians are more than welcome to participate and join us. As I said, I mean, the founders were Macedonian Bulgarians, and we always will acknowledge that fact, and we promote them to join us for any of our celebrations. Hopefully more can come out for our annual convention and participate as well in any events we have coming forward.
Yes, we're trying to preserve our past, but we're also trying to look to the future as well. By getting younger people involved, I don't want to say like kicking out the older people, but just by getting younger people involved, because it's not just all about coming and dancing and getting to see people, but it's our heritage. We're just trying to preserve what got us here. Mm-hmm.
Надявам се организацията да стане това, което е било преди 100 години, организацията да добие популярност и подкрепа от младите хора, които да осъзнаят целта на тази организация и да помогнат, за да може нещата в Македония да бъдат защитени правата на всички в Македония и в частност на българите в Македония, и да може МПО да изпълни това, за което е създадена.
Моята лична мечта е границите да паднат, Македония да стане част от Европейския съюз някога, и както сега, който иска ходи в Кавала, на остров Тасос и в Солун, без визи, без чакане в консулства и в посолства, така да бъде и с Македония, да имаме един свободен обмен. И тогава аз си мисля, че моето усещане е, че всички тези натрупани препятствия, това отношение лошо, което определени хора имат и от двете страни на границата, трябва да призная, то само себе си ще се разсее и ще бъдем едно, поне духовно, а всъщност и в рамките на Европейския съюз ще бъдем и политически една част от цялото. Това е решението на македонския въпрос. Ако мога да дам моята лична рецепта.
I think we're moving in the right direction. A lot of people thought the MPO would be gone by now. It's not. We're here. And, you know, I look at the makeup of the new Central Committee. It's young. There's a lot of young people on there, and that's important. In my time, you know, leading the MPO, it's, you know, I've done that. Now it's let the other generation move it forward.
I am a proud Bulgarian, but I am a patriotic Macedonian. And it's basically, I'm both. I'm not Bulgarian, I'm not Macedonian, I'm Bulgarian Macedonian.
Sometimes you have to ignore some of these Bulgaro-Macedonci because they don't know what the hell we're talking about. They have no political pressure, and they just want to make trouble. And they don't like what I do, and I don't bother them. I say hi, and if they want to sit down and talk, I'll talk. If not, I'll keep on walking. You know, go where I'm supposed to go. But they have to learn. There's too many nice people in the world, nice Bulgarians, nice Macedonians. But you shouldn't be fighting over your country. What are you going to do for Bulgaria? Let's do something for her and try to work together. But you run into some people that just, they don't like you, they don't like me, they don't like Bulgarians, and they're going to continue disliking. So what are you going to do? You're going to kill yourself to help them? No. I like being part of the MPO and helping the people in Bulgaria or Macedonia. You know, there's nothing wrong with being a Bulgaro-Macedonец. I'm Bulgaro-Macedonец. If they like it, fine. If they don't like it, I can't do nothing.
Изгрей зора на свободата, зора на вечната борба. Изгрей в душите и сърцата на всички роби по света. Изгрей в душите и сърцата на всички роби по света. Юнаци смели пак развиха окървавени знамена. Мити нови заблудиха низ македонската земя. Тирани чудо ще направим, ни чуждо и го не търпим. С юнашка кръв ще ви удавим и пак ще се освободим. Тирани чудо ще направим, ни чуждо и го не търпим. С юнашка кръв ще ви удавим и пак ще се освободим. Да живее Македония!